The Dragon Ball power system has always been way deeper than people give it credit for. A lot of fans treat it like it's just bigger number wins. But in reality, it's much closer to the cultivation systems you usually see in Chinese mythology and fantasy stories, which honestly makes perfect sense when you remember that Dragon Ball itself is heavily inspired by Journey to the West. Power in Dragon Ball isn't just one thing, it's layered. You have Ki, God Ki, magic, artificial energy, absorption-based powers, mutation-based power, and more. And each of them follows completely different rules. Today, I want to focus on one of the most misunderstood and under-discussed power systems in Dragon Ball, magic. And I'm pretty confident when I say this. You're not going to find many videos that actually break this down properly. Magic is one of the oldest forms of power in Dragon Ball, and its roots trace directly back to the demon realm. Long before gods, angels, or even refined ki control, magic already existed as a structured power system. But here's the key difference that most people miss. Magic does not function like ki. With ki, the idea is simple. You cultivate energy within your body, and then you use that energy to amplify yourself. Your strength, speed, durability, reactions, everything. Magic does not do that. Magic is not about self-amplification. Instead, magic is externalized through spells. You're not becoming stronger physically. You're rewriting reality through techniques. The best examples of this are Moro and Buu. Moro can manipulate the energy of an entire planet through magic. Buu can convert people and objects into candy. These are not attacks in the ki sense. They are rules being imposed onto reality. And that distinction matters a lot. This is also why pure magic users often appear weak in direct combat. When you look at old-school magic characters, they don't trade blows like Sain do. They don't overwhelm opponents with speed or raw force. And that's because magic isn't designed for that role. Moro and Buu are special cases because they don't rely solely on magic. They use both ki and magic. Moro is the clearest proof of this. When Moro regained his magic powers, he didn't suddenly become physically stronger. His punches didn't hit harder. His speed didn't jump. What changed was his spell efficiency. His magic activated faster, his range increased, and he regained access to techniques he previously lost. Magic doesn't amplify the user, it amplifies the spell itself. And this is exactly why magic is so dangerous in Dragon Ball. Old Moro, before absorbing anyone, was only somewhat relative to Super Saiyan God Vegito. But despite that, he was able to drain the energy of Super Saiyan Blue evolved Vegito, a form that is easily dozens of times stronger, arguably over 70 times stronger depending on how you scale it. If that was a ki-based ability, it would have been instantly nullified due to the power gap. But magic doesn't care about that in the same way. The same principle shows up in the Buu saga. Buuhan turning Vegito into chocolate is one of the most important moments people completely misunderstand. Vegito didn't lose to Buu's magic. He resisted it through sheer power and control, but the spell itself was never nullified. Vegito remained conscious as candy, which is insane when you think about it. If that had been a ki beam, Vegito wouldn't even notice it. Time abilities are another perfect comparison. Hit's time skip is ki-based. It becomes less effective the closer someone is to him in power, and it outright stops working if they surpass him. Guldo's time stop, on the other hand, is magic. It freezes all time, regardless of how strong the target is. It worked on everything. The only reason Guldo lost is because he himself was weak and slow, not because his ability failed. This is why it takes an absurd power gap to resist magic in Dragon Ball. And even then, it's not really resistance. It's endurance or adaptation. I genuinely can't think of a moment where a magic spell was just straight up erased the way ki attacks often are. And let's be clear here, magic is everywhere in Dragon Ball. The Dragon Balls themselves are magic. The Super Dragon Balls? Magic. The creation of the universes? Magic. Performed by Majin Raimus. Even gods rely on magic far more than people realize. Divine beings don't just use God Ki. They use reality-altering techniques rooted in magic. This brings us to a really important realization. Magic isn't weaker than Ki or God Ki. It operates on an entirely different axis. Ki breaks limits. God Ki refines amplification. Magic ignores both. Is magic greater than divine energy? Because when you really look at it, God Ki still follows the rules of amplification. It's refined, condensed, and controlled, but it's still power output. Magic doesn't care how much power you have. It only cares whether the spell lands and whether you can endure its effect. And that's why magic users can affect characters far beyond their weight class. Before I wrap this up, it's shout-out time. From my last video, DeathDragons9762 commented saying the tweet I referenced was fake. And yeah, I'll be real with you, it was. I got baited. If you're confused about what I mean, I explained everything in my previous video where I talked about Toyotaro and the manga return. So that one's on me. Appreciate you calling it out. So, if you made it this far, here's my question for you. Is magic greater than divine energy? If you want a full breakdown of God Ki and how it actually works, I already made a video on that. Go check it out. Drop your thoughts in the comments, answer the question, and let's actually discuss this instead of just screaming power levels. As always, if you enjoyed this, sub up. We're pushing for 10,000. Like the video, and I'll see you next time. Take care, and see ya.